Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Welcome to our second live stream here in Farming Simulator. I have just popped in, I've logged on, I've made sure that everything is working and sort of going well. We've got a contract that I was busy working on with the little tractor that we've got over here, so we just kind of need to finish this one. The plan today is to do some contract work. What I'd like to do is I'd like to do some various different jobs on the fields that we've got up here. There was a great big job available right there on field 8, but I forgot that we'd fast forwarded time. So I was planning to sort of do a massive combining job on field 8 as this, the majority of this live stream, but I'm not sure that's going to work. So instead, we'll look at other contracting jobs. There is one up here on field 4 that will allow us to use the combine that I put in screenshots. But we'll see about that a bit later on. So anybody, anyway, welcome all to the live stream. I see we got a whole load of different names up through here. Batstar 5, we'll have to talk about that after the stream. At the moment, Smudo or Udo Major is the he's the moderator, and he's the only one at the moment. Then I may see about more people later, but we'll see it. So we got Wall 2020, Mako D, Udo Major, Aaron McKay, Lone Farmer, Alexis Martinez. We also Miss Mucky Pup. Welcome back, Miss Mucky Pup. She's sponsoring the channel, she is. That's why her name's in green. She's got my little symbol next to her. That is really awesome. Thank you very much. I didn't realize what that was when you did that last time round. So now's my chance to really say thank you for that. That is really awesome. Adrian Matinee, Alexis Martinez, John Harnett, Raging Dragon 485, Batstar, Pugax 7. Upsal has Markstead. I really struggle with your name. I'm really sorry. Mendel Goal. I think I'm right. I've listed a whole load of names over here. This contract here that I'm busy working on is almost done, 85%. But what I was thinking of doing, we got field 11 over here. This is potatoes. I didn't really want to do a potato harvest on this. I didn't really think it would be all that interesting. But I thought this one would be quite cool. We can get this combine here, and I thought that might be all right. So we can go up to field 4. We'll have to get the gear from the shop, and then we traipse it all the way up to field 4, and we do the soybeans in field 4. And where's it got to take it? Where's he say? Central grain elevator as well, which is just there. So it's literally right next to it. So we could do that, and then there are a few other bits and pieces we can do in the meantime. One other thing I'd like to do is, while that one is busy going through, I will carry on doing this baling that we were doing. We could just sort of finish off some of this. We might do a little bit of this as well, and other work on the farm while we're doing the live stream as well. I will also do my absolute best to answer people's questions as we go through the live stream. You have questions, put them up there, and I will try to answer them. May not be able to answer them all, but I will try to. I will try to answer them. Up we go through here. Okay, so what else have we got? How's your day? Hard to spell in English. Not an English word. I'm not actually sure what you're trying to say in English. This is where I struggle, is I like to see all of the conversations that go on everywhere, and I'm not able to see all of the conversations because I have to play the game as well as watch the chat, and I do sometimes struggle with that a little bit. I did struggle with it a bit yesterday, but yeah. Right. Bring this one on round here. How much have we got left on that car? I want to hurry up and finish that contract. That little contract that we got going up there. I want to hurry up and finish that one. Active, right, it's 92%. Okay. We'll probably finish the baling, actually, before that one finishes. Have you recorded more episodes beside the one today? I feel like I'm missing in gameplay. Oh, yes, of course. Of course. Yes. I'm on here, I'm busy doing this, right, Smudo, can you see Miss Mucky Pup's, thingy there that she's put up? Because, I can see it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not really sure how much I think moderators can see everything that I can see. But, right. Yes. If you missed out on a video. And, yes, actually, I've just kind of realized... Hang on a minute. Because I'm several episodes in advance right now. I've recorded... What have I recorded? I've recorded Christmas Day and Boxing Day. I've got the day after. So I'm up to Boxing Day. So I'll start the baling on Boxing Day. So it is actually, it's a little bit disjointed here. I'm really sorry about that. So I've kind of jumped forward and, is it a bit too late to say spoiler alert? Can I say spoiler alert now? Would that be alright? Yeah, I kind of... I didn't think about that. I should have thought about this. I should have thought, right, well, I'll just stay away from the farm. But, yeah. Right, so, spoiler alert, you may see things here that have not yet happened in the videos, and there's a couple of videos to go yet. So, yeah, I'm sorry about that for anybody that's, this is the problem with doing a live stream on the same map that I'm recording episodes for, and trying to get a week ahead on my recordings at the same time. Right, so yes, it is a spoiler alert. I'll try to stay a little bit away from the farm. We're mostly going to try and concentrate on doing the other stuff. Right, we've actually got contract on field 22 finished. So I'm just going to stop that one right there, stop dead. And then I'm going to go straight over to you over here, and I'm going to stop you as well. Like that, and then I'm going to go in here and I'm going to collect 695. Right. I'm also just going to leave that one there. We'll worry about moving that one later. So field 4. We've got field 4 that we can do, or we got field 8 where we could do sowing with cotton, and then maybe fast forward and try and... No, that's just going to be... That would be seriously dull. That would be a really dull old job, because how big is field 8? It's a big old field, isn't it? It doesn't tell us how big it... Oh, yes, it does. 15.5 hectares. That's a fair old field. This one here is big enough. This is 10 hectares, and this is the combining job. But this is the one that we're going to do. We'll make sure we don't just go accept contract. We need to borrow the items. So, yes, the leased machines are waiting for you at the shop right there. I forgot to read how much it was going to cost us. Okay, so we will go from you. We go over to you. So we have got, for this one, the Fendt 939 Vario. That bad boy right there. Oh, nice. They're giving us 2 trailers to do. We're having a proper road train for this job. And... Oh, I was going to say, why have I got that over there? But I know why I've got that over there. So let's not worry about that one for a minute. Let's jump into you first. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get that... header trailer, and I'm just going to pull that one out, and hopefully this will all work properly. Really hoping this works. This master plan that I've got, I'm really hoping that this works. Let's back in onto there. Boxing Day is the day after Christmas. Right, I'll drop you there. I hope this works, and then drive you over there out the way a minute. And then I will jump onto this one. Beautiful, big Fendt combine. Looks absolutely wonderful. Why does the hay icon... well, basically, the hay icon looked like the manure one in FS17. They changed all the icons around. And hay, straw, and grass, they all look kind of similar now. They don't look, you know, in FS17, it was much easier to sort of tell them all apart, but that they all look kind of similar now. There is a little bit of a difference in them, but they do look, unfortunately, a lot more similar than they used to. And I think you can see them here. Where are they? We go, well, that's your basic crops there. Harvesting, root crops. Come on, there's got to be grass and nope. There's got to be something here. I did see it previously. It was when I was doing this once upon a time a little while ago. And you've got... Right, well, that there is hay, and that is silage. Yeah. No, that's straw. The one there with like the little birds in it is straw, and then that one there is hay, and that silage there, the one that looks like it's in the clamp. Forestry, production recap, sugarcane, making money. There was a thing that actually said it's, and those icons are different again. It doesn't have like a list of the other icons. Anyway, they were there. There was a thing, but it has been changed a bit. I'll drop you on there without. Looks like it's going to hold. I hope it does. Let's get all the way up to field. What you call it? Field 4. Field 4 is the one that we're working on, isn't it? Yeah. Right. What's going to be the best way to go? We need to plan our route. So if we're down here, well, really, we would just want to go up onto that road there and then follow that one all the way up until we get to the side of the field. So long as we can get across this bit here. Oh! So long as we get across this bit here without getting walloped by the train. That was cutting it pretty fine. That train may well have caught us if I hadn't been doing it right. Right. Make a stream with fans where you do funny stuff. Oh, what? Like, you mean a multiplayer type thing? Well, I don't know. I suppose I could try and do that. I'm not really sure what sort of multiplayer thing to do. And yeah, I will try to work on it. I'll give you that. Right. How big's this header? I don't know. Let's have a look. Let's sweep down the sign as we're doing it. What header have we got? I don't even know what I've got. It doesn't say on there. Does it say on here? It doesn't say on here. I don't. Actually, it will say in here, won't it? If we go and we have a look in headers in here, you need to go. It'll be that one, I'm guessing. I would guess that's the one that we're using. You got the. Oh, hang on. What have you got? You got the Dynaflex right there. Hey, it's we're using the Dynaflex, aren't we? We gotta be. Because the other one's the Power Flow, and we're not using that one. No. Power Flow is where you've got the belt on the beginning, and you've got an auger as well. And then you've got the Dynaflex there, which is the... that's the Draper header, isn't it? Dynaflex is Draper, surely. So, yeah, that's the one that we've got. That's the one we're using right there. Is that a Draper header, the Dynaflex? Is that actually a Draper? I think it is. I think so. And yeah, it might be better if the header was a little bit bigger. This is a 12-meter one. We'll see what it's like when we get up there. It's coming up to Christmas. Maybe we could talk about Christmas traditions. Example, in Germany, we don't have Santa, but the Christmas angel, which brings presents on Christmas Eve. I've heard there's a lot of places in Europe where the giving of presents on Christmas Day is not done so much. It's more you have more give presents on Christmas Eve rather than Christmas Day. And in some places, Boxing Day is the present giving day. So yeah, it's strange how that there is different ones. There is not a Draper for the Fendt. None of the Fendt headers are Draper. So I'm confused. What's classed as a Draper? So Draper is a make then, is it? Rather than... Because, you know, this has got, like, the belts and everything that looks like a Draper header. This Dynaflex thing. Draper is then just a make of header more than anything then, is it? Is that how it is? I don't really know, to be honest. I've not had anything to do with this type of header before anyway. Right. We'll pop you around like that, and... we'll do that. I'm going to leave that one right there on that corner. And then grab you. Very neat and tidy, by the way. That was a wonderful, neat and tidily done job there. We'll just pop that one out. And also unfold our bad boy of a combine here. Look at this. This field is huge. This is going to take us a while, you know. This is definitely going to take us a while. But it's soybeans, so the yield is not, like, absolutely massive. See, I thought that Draper had the header built in with the trailer, with the wheels attached. And I thought that's what sort of separated the Draper. But someone else said, well, no, that's not just the bits about the Draper. It's also to do with the belts and the way they work. So, like, this looks like a Draper header, except for the fact that it goes onto a header trailer rather than anything else. So this, I thought this was a Draper header. It's just done slightly differently in that it doesn't have its own wheels. So, yeah, it's kind of a little bit different. In Slovenia, we have the Krampus, a Christmas devil that rewards good children and kidnaps bad kids. And we have Santa, and then we have Grandpa Snow that gives little presents. Dynaflex is belt only, power flow is the auger, yeah. This is a Draper header. Yeah, so I'm not really sure. I thought that this was officially a Draper header. You know, it's 7:30 on the 7:30, 5:30 on the server time here. I honestly thought that it was earlier in the day. I'm now questioning the wisdom of starting this job now. Although it doesn't matter, does it? We can fast forward time, so if it starts to get a little bit dull or something like that, we can just jump forward until the morning. Lone Farmer says I am using a Draper header. Okay, that's good. I'm glad I'm using a Draper header. And most Draper heads still actually require a trailer. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. No. No. I'm wanting to go to... There we go. Right, that's better. And... This is going to be a silent stream. I'm listening to me. Silent stream. Oh, you're right. Don't worry, I'm with you now. I understand. You've just switched me off and watching what I'm doing. Now, if I back that one back around there, pull that one up and see a Class DLC, Marilyn Walton. Class DLC would actually be very cool, wouldn't it? What am I doing? Right. It would help if I actually watched what I was doing with the tractor rather than trying to focus on a different screen. And then I might actually be able to back these trailers up. We want to get both these trailers together. Let's bring you back. Oh, great. Doesn't go that way round. Let me try that again then, shall we? I take it goes the other way round. So I'll bring you in over this way. It better go the other way round. Yes, it does. Right. My bad. My bad. Bring you back over to there. And I don't have a front weight. I've not been gifted with a front weight for the Fendt. We're not allowed one. We have to do this without a front weight. But we do have two trailers together. And I love the fact that they've given us a little road train. I think this is absolutely awesome. So I'll bring that one back there. There we go. We've got our road train all set and ready to roll. Let's see if we can get across this road here without this time a train turning up. Oh, that's all good. So I can anchor around there and go racing off up the road. Oh, steady. Careful. Smudo recommends Miss Mucky Pup as a moderator. And we have 3 times the viewers of yesterday. Well, yeah, we do have a lot more viewers than yesterday. I think it's partly to do with the game, mind. I think that there are more people that want to watch me play Farming Simulator than want to watch me play other games. But that's why I do both, because I like the variation. I like the other games. So I was playing the Colonists yesterday. It's very cool. I really liked the Colonists. Never mind, I just realised my phone has a volume button. Oh, that's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. For the standard head types are corn header, rigid head, auger head, and the kind of flex and flex drapers. Yeah, so there is quite a variety with headers these days. You do have a lot of sort of choice and mix with them. Right, if we just switch that one a second, and we go to there, man. Oh, who've we got? A Yorkshire Dano. Hello, Yorkshire Dano. Welcome back. You popped in yesterday. This is our Yorkshire Dano is our resident famous person. He's the one that made the Dowland Farm map. So everybody has to say hi to him now and embarrass him. Fendt 8T. So far, we've been all the way up to the top end of the field and back again, and we've got Not even 6,000 litres of soybeans. Now, what I was wondering was to whether or not I should switch off crop destruction for this. It would make life a lot easier for us. We could then unload just about anywhere as we're going along. Well, I'm not going to. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to sort of see what it will do. I am using hired help. I'm shamelessly using hired help, and I'm not even going to apologise for that. We're going to use the hired help for this little job. And I'm also going to have a look in here. Crop destruction is a thing. That is actually a thing. But no, I didn't want to go in there. I wanted to have a look in here a minute, and I wanted to go to here, and I want to go to harvesters, and then I wanted to go scroll up through there and have a look at the ideal Agco harvester there. 17,000 litres in one tank. That's insane. That is, like, properly ludicrous, that is. We're going to get, like, most of this field into one tank on this combine. This thing's absolutely huge. Right, while that's going up across there, just bear with me one moment. I'm going to have a little sip of my coffee. That's better. Right, now we can carry on. I watched a video the other day. Jesse Clark is saying drapers don't beat the crop up as much when they're being cut, but the maintenance up front costs are more than a standard auger head. Now, I was watching a video where someone was umming and ahhing about whether or not they should get a draper header over their standard auger. And I don't remember what the crop was, but it was a crop that has a tendency to clump. And with an auger header, clumping is more of an issue. With drapers, you get less clumping. And so when it got a little bit claggy, just a little bit sort of damp, they had to stop, whereas the neighbours with draper headers, they were still flying up downfield. So that's what decided him, and then he went and got it, and then it worked. But I've never seen a draper header working in the UK. I've seen the power flow header with the auger and the belt in front of the auger, but I've never seen a draper header working in the UK, so I don't know if it's as much of an issue. Yorkshire Dano, I know that he's big in farming up in Yorkshire. They have all sorts to do with farming, so he may be able to tell you if there's much in the way of actual need for a draper header all the way up there in Yorkshire. So that's, you know, that's a damper part of the UK than I've got down here in Cornwall. So that may be able to answer that one as to whether the draper header is used very much, but I personally have not heard of it being used all that much in the UK. It sort of doesn't really seem to be something that's needed that much, but I don't know. Anybody that farms in Europe, do you use draper headers very much? Is there much call for them? I know that in the States there are some crops that they really do tend to use it a lot, whereas in other places that standard auger is the preferred, or at least one that will flex a little bit with the standard auger anyway. James Reed, hey Frithgar, really enjoy your videos. They lift me up when I'm down. I am absolutely delighted to hear that. It's awesome. I love the fact that occasionally my videos are able to make a difference to people when they're just generally feeling a bit poopy. I know what it's like to feel a bit poopy. I occasionally feel a bit poopy. I actually had a really down day the other day, and I was feeling particularly low, and so I know what it's like. It's not something, if you're prone to them every now and then, it does happen, and they just turn up every now and then. A few big farms in Lincolnshire have a draper. We contract a lot on small farms, so I can't get in with a big header. And so, yeah, I suppose it's not really worth having a draper header on a smaller cutting width, is it? Or is it? I don't know, because like the advantages is reducing clumping and things like that, whereas the if you've got a much smaller header, even if it does tend to clump a little bit, it's not going to make as big a difference to the combine when you've got the clumps going in, or at least it didn't seem to make much of a difference when I was doing it. You'd have it quite clumpy going in. We'd be combining wheat at 2 o'clock in the morning, and it would be going in and just, it would sort of ball up and be going in I mean, yeah, we were crawling along the field when we were doing it, but it was still sort of going in great big balls into the combine. It would still work all right, but we didn't have a combine that was cutting anything like this width. It would have been less than half of this. We had a little tiny thing, or at least compared to this. I mean, when I stood beside the combine, it looked fairly big. I do remember it being a fairly monstrous-sized combine, and I was quite impressed with it. But yeah, it was a fair bit smaller than what this one was. I can't remember what it was now. It was a class Lexian something. I think it was a 6-meter header on it. It may have been a 7-meter header or something like that. Who knows? Yeah, I'm not really sure. Anyway, welcome everybody. We've got loads of new people turning up. This is absolutely awesome. And I can't scroll up and see what the other tradition, the rocky ground and auger head seems a bit more robust. I don't know about that. I mean, if you do pick up a big stone with an auger, it can decimate your auger. But I mean, I'm guessing that there must be a fairly robust sort of stone trap and stuff for a Draper header, that sort of thing. I know we used to do peas with our combines, and I speak, you know, the way I speak about this, you'd think I was doing it for several years. I did it for 2 seasons, that was it. I worked there for about 15 months, covering 2 summers and the space in between. And this was the big arable place I worked on. But we used to do peas, and it wasn't fresh peas, it was dried peas. As they ripen, they go flat across the field. So you got to run your combine with the header about a ½ an inch above the ground. Literally a ½ an inch above the ground. You've got to keep it right down flat. You can't use the... normally, when you're going around the field, you just have the header is on like the auto contour, auto adjusting. It does it all itself. But we didn't have to worry about that. And the system would just level itself off. It was absolutely fine. And the but when you were doing the peas, you couldn't use that because the auto contour thing back then, it didn't work on that close to the ground. So you had to do all of that manually. So you're going along, you had to keep it about a ½ an inch above the ground, and you would generally break a knife on the combine roughly once every 30 minutes, which suited me really well because at the time I smoked, but I wasn't allowed to smoke in the combine. It was strictly no smoking in the combine, but I smoked. So if I had to get out and replace one of the knives, it took about the same amount of time that it took me to smoke a cigarette. And so every 30 minutes to an hour I would have to get out and I'd be mending a knife, and then I would do it. But after a couple of days, you know, we were combining peas for about 2 weeks. After a couple of days, I got better at it. I got better at judging the distances and stuff like that. And we go down to this one down here. Let's get our tractor up across the field. I got a bit better at judging the distance and judging it, and you know, and you get your eye in on it, and it's a thing that's quite cool. And then the you'd be able to go longer, and I'd end up getting something in a region of an hour and a half into combining, and I still hadn't had a knife. So I just very carefully nudged the combine header down a little bit lower when I seen a rocky patch coming, so that I would deliberately catch a stone and break one of the knives on the header, so that I would then have to stop and jump out and replace a knife. That meant I could go and have a cigarette. It didn't do me a lot of good, mind, because, you know, I did a couple of weeks of doing the peas, and then we were back on to just the normal crops. And, of course, by that point, I'd gotten used again to having a cigarette every hour. Well, then I was back to normal combining, and I'd be lucky if I managed to get 2 all day, because there was absolutely no smoking in the combine. So, yes, the peas were fun. There was no denying that it was fun doing the peas. But, yeah, I suffered for the first couple of days afterwards because I couldn't have my hourly cigarettes. Moral of the story here, ladies and gentlemen, don't smoke. Right? Just don't smoke, because then you haven't got to worry about all these things like this. It's much better just not to smoke. Right, we've got 1 tank full off this field so far. That's it. I'm wondering if we're going to get everything into those 2 trailers. Let me go back through and have a read more. I've been sort of rabbiting on to myself. Right, we dismissed Fortnite already yesterday. Please contain yourself. Yes, well, I did try Fortnite. I tried to play Fortnite on here. It didn't work very well. I was not very good at it. There's like a very short playlist. So, it didn't work very well. We did peas. Our new Holland wasn't low enough, so we had to use our old 2-meter case. Yeah. He bailed a few bales, started contract, and also rammed the train with the I almost rammed. Yeah. Oh, almost. Yeah, you did say almost. I almost rammed the train with the combine. I did. It was close. Yeah. So for anybody that's just coming into the stream, right? I've recorded up to Boxing Day so far. I'm doing a stream. I got one more episode I'm recording tomorrow, which will be for the day after Boxing Day. But, yeah, so spoiler alert, there may be a few things that you can't quite see, that you haven't seen yet in the videos. It may come as a little bit of a surprise to you. But, yeah, don't worry about that. We're going to... All will be made clear. I will try to... Actually... Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be confusing. We're jumping around all over the place. Blame Christmas. Don't blame me. Blame Christmas. And what did I do in the past? Over 100. It's something like 200 odd Minecraft videos. Some of those Sen is actually playing with me. There's quite a few of them that Sen is playing with me. So yeah, breaking a knife just to get a smoke break. That's bad. Probably, yes, but it was acceptable. We were combining peas at the time. And somebody did say, I've missed it now, but somebody did ask how difficult it was for me to get up smoking. It was bad. Well, sort of. It was... I gave up, and I thought I did alright, but Sen, who has had to live with me for some time, said that I was a monster to live with for a couple of weeks. And basically, I didn't use anything extra. I didn't use anything to try and quit. Sen told me one day that she was pregnant. I said, fantastic. And I never smoked again. That was it. I never even had a drag on a cigarette. I just stopped. End of. Completely cold turkey. I thought I did all right. But Sen said I was a bit of a miserable sort of person to live with for a few weeks. But, yeah. Right. Find it interesting that the feast you're using only runs a 35-foot header, even though it's the biggest production combine. I don't know. A 35-foot header, that's pretty big, isn't it? I don't know. See, I know some places in the world you run much bigger things than that. So, maybe it is only a little tiny one. We're going to leave this for a minute. I'm just going to leave that one going. I've got this little bit of baling that we've got left. I want to just finish this off. This is jumping ahead in time now. So I'm doing a little bit of baling here. This is new stuff that I haven't done in the last episode. You've got a few more episodes yet before you actually see this bit. Right, we'll bring that down to there. And, oops, I'll lower that down. Yeah, Smudo, by the way, Miss Mucky Pup has also been watching those old Minecraft videos. Smudo watched a load of the old Minecraft videos, and Miss Mucky Pup has been watching some of them as well. I can't imagine that they're going to take the world by storm, those old Minecraft videos. I really can't. But yeah, I just thought you'd like to know, because Smudo's actually watched most of them. So, yeah, I just thought you... Two of you now got something in common. You've sat through a whole load of those Minecraft stories. Douglas Campbell, hello from the cold wastelands of Minnesota. I'm assuming it's cold over there in Minnesota right now then. Is it snowing? Have you got, like, loads of snow everywhere? Because here in the UK, I'm aware that it's winter because the rain coming down is rather cold. So, yeah, that's our indication that winter has arrived, is when the rain turns cold. And sounds like the same thing my dad used to do. You can run a 60-foot header on the new John Deere combines. I'm assuming that we've got big headers somewhere in the UK or somewhere in Europe as well, but I don't know if we Yeah, I don't actually know if we use massive, great big headers very much. I mean, I know the bloke that I used to work for, some of the fields that we had, we could have had a much bigger one, but the reason that we kept a small header instead of a much bigger one was because it was getting it from one field to the other. It was getting it around the roads. That was the reason that we kept a small header. It had nothing to do with the field sizes themselves. It had nothing to do with the fields at all. Do you know how to pronounce... Now, I want to say solar, but I'm guessing that's not solar. I'm guessing... Is that Ola? Also, yes, I'll keep asking this question until he answers. Is that... That's not Hola. That's not Ola, is it? I don't know. Spell it out phonetically in English, and then I'll have a chance. I can usually repeat an accent if I hear an accent, sort of. Sometimes I can do it better than other times. Anybody who watches the Minecraft videos, not the Warcraft videos. Anybody who watches my Warcraft videos will know about that. Sometimes my accents are better than other times. Sometimes I can sort of get them all right, and then other times I really don't. Eric King, the main key to quitting smoking is you have to really want to quit. Yeah, basically, you just have to want to. At that time, I wanted to quit. Sen told me she was pregnant with our first child, and that was it. I stopped smoking. One thing that I did do, and this was a tip that was given to me by a friend who had also quit smoking. There was two things I did, right? And this did sort of help to make it a little bit easier. What I did was I had like 2 cigarettes left in the packet. And I got, maybe 3, I don't know. But I had a cigarette. I made sure that I had 1 cigarette left. The rest, screwed up, chucked in a bin, no good, not using them. I wasn't going to smoke them. But I had 1 cigarette left. Now, one thing that happens when people give up smoking is they really, really want a cigarette. And they really want a cigarette. And they can't, like, they're not sure how they're going to do it. They really want one. Minus 15 in Kanonsaha in Finland. Minus 6 in Uppsala in Sweden. And you got Christmas snow. Very nice. Episode of Goldcrest Valley where I did the big field of potatoes. I don't remember. I honestly don't remember. It was longer than normal, I know that much. That one took forever, and I was also quite concerned that it was going to crash halfway through, because that was a very long stint of recording without pausing, and the recording software often struggled with that, so I was quite concerned, but it ended up being alright. Minus 22 in Kusamo in Finland. Probably pronouncing all of these wrong. Right, so mild, only minus 3 and an inch of snow. We're about, I don't know what the temperature is outside at the moment. It's like 8 degrees outside at the moment. Like summer for some of you, I would guess. So, yeah, what was I talking about? The smoking thing. Just have 1 cigarette left. Because what a lot of people would do when they want to quit smoking is they think, oh, I really want a cigarette. I really want a cigarette. And in the end, they give in. And they go and buy a packet of cigarettes. Well, then you've got this kind of justification for having a few cigarettes, because you've got 20 cigarettes in front of you. So, oh, well, I might as well have one now. There's no point in saving the whole packet for if I really, really want one. I'll have some. And that's it kind of self-defeating. Keep 1 cigarette. Put that one in a packet and just keep that 1 cigarette. So if you really, really need that cigarette and you're really thinking about going and buying it, you don't need to go and buy it because you've got that cigarette there. So then you can look at it. You can just take the cigarette out and you can look at it. And then you can think, right, well, I don't need it that bad just yet. I can put that one back. And I don't need to worry about it just for a minute. Okay, well, we'll just leave that for a bit. And I won't have that cigarette just yet. And then you might be able to cope. Now, I didn't actually do that. I didn't sort of, where I keep the cigarette, but I didn't need to like take it out or anything. But my friend, he looked at that cigarette a number of times, and in the end he ended up sort of dipping it in resin and keeping it. He still got his cigarette that he never smoked, and that's what helped him quit. The bit that really helped me more than that was I took the money that I used to spend on cigarettes every week and I put that into a jar. Surprising how much. And then at the end of every week, or at the end of every couple of weeks, I would take that money that I would have spent on cigarettes, and I took it on something and spent it on something else. Don't just think, oh, no, that's good, we can use that for paying bills, because that kind of then draws you back towards smoking, because you're stressing and stuff. Treat yourself. Treat yourself with something really nice, and what I did was I started treating myself to really nice coffees. I started buying some different types of coffees, and I treated myself to coffee. And that's what I did. I started drinking lots of different coffees, and I would spend that money on coffee. These days, I spend far more on... I don't drink a lot of particularly fancy coffee. I just like the different types of grinds and stuff, and I put them into my coffee filter and so on. But I almost definitely spend more on coffee now than I used to spend on cigarettes. And Sen has pointed out several times that, yeah, don't crow about not wasting money on cigarettes, Frith, because you spend more on coffee than you ever used to on cigarettes. And when I smoke cigarettes, I used to just drink instant coffee. I do still drink instant coffee a bit. If I've got to go out somewhere, I'll take instant coffee with me, but I don't tend to drink very much instant coffee anymore. I tend to mostly drink grounds, which it's more expensive. So it's quite funny that one of the reasons people will give for giving up smoking is to save money, and for me, that didn't work out so well. Right, let's have a look up through. Let's have a read, and I'll go and do something. We need to go and do something. I can't just sit staring at a combine this entire stream, can I? So we've got you over here. Oh, I know what I want. I want to get this one here, and I'm going to unhitch you. I do need to go back to the combine in a minute, and we need to empty it out. We just need it to go up across the field. So what we'll do is we'll run this one up to the dealership a minute, and then we will empty this one out. Miss Monkey Pop, I would quit smoking in an instant, but with 4 children around, it's either smoke or crawl under a very large rock and cry. I feel your pain. I only have 2. And I still feel your pain. But yeah, I can understand that. I can definitely understand that. Petro Grace Mark, 39 degrees at its peak. Yes, yeah. Alright, Australia boy, you're just showing off now. Everybody else is freezing at the moment. Some people are lucky enough to be having, all the proper white Christmas like it is on the cards and everything else. But no. Mr. Gracemark, he's having barbecues on the beach. And with the AC set to 26 degrees. Good gravy, man. Good gravy. I'll tell you what, 39 degrees C. I would literally melt. I would absolutely melt. I genuinely would. Snack and cactus. Coffee is the one bad habit I won't give up. Oops, steady. Don't read and drive, people. Do not read and drive. No matter. Never give it up. No, I'm not giving up coffee. I'm not giving up my coffee. I'll give up a lot of other things, but I ain't giving up my coffee. I'll tell you that much. That coffee is mine. I'm keeping it. I'll back you up onto there, and I'll hook you up, and then I will stop, and then I will go this way over to you. Start this bad boy up, and I need to... You need to... Is he going to make it to the top of the field before he's full? I don't know. I have my doubts as to whether it can do it. We'll see in a minute. Let me just go and have a look. Oh, he might do it. Yeah, no worries. No worries at all. He'll do that. Batstar 5 is back. Welcome back, sir. Welcome back. I only smoke at this time of year. As a truck driver, this time is extremely stressful for us. I can imagine truck driving at this time of year. You've got all those people who only ever seem to go on the road for a couple of times at Christmas and no other time of the year. Then you've got a load of lunatics all desperately trying to get from one place to the other, because if they don't, the whole world is going to come to an end. Yeah, as I feel your pain. I know what it's like with driving a lorry for a living. My dad used to drive a lorry for a living, and I used to ride around with him sometimes. But I do know some of the struggle that you go through. I've never actually driven one myself for a living, I've driven one in a field. That's about it. But yeah, you have... I feel your pain with the... it must be absolute madness at the moment this time of year on the roads with everybody trying to go everywhere for Christmas and stuff like that. Oop, hang on. On we go. Frith without coffee is like YouTube without bad rewind. Nice. I haven't watched all of this year's rewind yet, actually. I watched part of it, and I sort of thought, well, I'd never watched a rewind video before. This was like the first time I'd really heard it to pay attention to. So I watched this, and it sort of seemed alright. I don't know why people are hating on this quite so badly. And I got a bit further in, I was like, well, okay, it's not the greatest video I've ever seen. And then I just kind of like left it. I'm going to follow this one all the way down the field, and then we're going to go and deliver this first double load. And then afterwards, someone said that the dude from the guy from Australia, the original Primitive Technology channel, he was in it apparently, and I don't remember seeing him in it. So I now need to go back and watch the whole video and see where he turned up and what he did in it, because I've never heard the man talk. So I don't know if he actually does talk or not. Maybe quite cool if he does. I was going to say, so Petro Gracemark, that guy's from Australia, and so are you, so do you know him? And I just sort of thought that was I've had people say that to me where I've sort of been elsewhere, or he's from Cornwall, so you must know him. And it's like, yeah, but we've got, I don't know, 1 million people that live in this part of the country. And then Australia, what have you got? You've got like 30 million people in Australia, haven't you? So obviously you know him. Obviously you do. Okay, I'll stop now. Right. Smoking is so expensive here in Canada. I smoke 25 pack a day, and a pack costs $14. I don't know what the conversion rate for $14 Canadian dollars to pounds is. Can you give me a rough estimate of how many US dollars a 14 Canadian dollars is? If you can give me a rough estimate on that, I can give you a rough idea of how much that is for me. Hang on a minute, I want to look in here. And where am I going? Oh, I'm going Central Grain Elevator, so we just need to go along that road all the way up through there. That's easy enough, I can do that. Right. 17C, stream for 24 hours, I could watch him forever. I'm not sure you'd want me to stream for 24 hours. I'm really not sure you'd want me to stream for 24 hours. I would start to get teasy. I really would. I would definitely get teasy. Jamie Burt is watching whilst having a coffee and a cigarette. No, I'm not quitting. I start something and I stick to it, not a quitter. I used to say that. That was my reason for not quitting smoking. Now, so I've actually got both of you together. Jamie Burt and Petro Gracemark. And you were the two that I kept getting confused. Jamie Burt is from New Zealand, and Petro Gracemark is from Australia. Right? I have to make sure that I get this right in future, because otherwise I will upset all sorts of people. So I did establish this yesterday, but Petro wasn't here. So I'm establishing it now. Petro is from Australia, not New Zealand. And Jamie Burt is from New Zealand, not Australia. Okay? I've got this right. And I'm not going to say anything extra to go with it, so I'm not going to upset anybody at all. $10 US... there we go. That was the answer. So 14 Canadian dollars, about 10 US dollars. That's about £7.50. That's for a pack of 20, right? Pack of 20, £7.50. I think that's roughly what we pay for cigarettes in this country these days. It might actually be more than that. I'm not sure. But yeah. Actually, Miss Mucky Pup, you said you smoke. Do you happen to know what the current cost of a pack of straights is in this country? Because I don't. Right, why aren't you tipping? You need to be tipping here. Why aren't you tipping? I'm pressing the tip button. Why? Wait. I don't understand. I don't understand why. I'm pressing the button. I don't... No! No. Central grain elevator. Why don't you... Take it to the central grain elevator. Soybeans. This is the central grain elevator. Hang on. What are you doing? Right, close cover. Tip side back. Change driving direct. No. Why? I don't understand. If I press G, I can change it to there. This is not going well. I'm now concerned. I can't go round that way. It's £8.50 to £9.50. Oh, so it's more expensive cigarettes in this country than it is in Canada and Australia. No, I'm stuck. Why did I do this? Why did I possibly think that it was a good idea to try to creep round the back? Oh dear. Right, let me nudge it a little bit. There we go. Okay, we've done it. Right, back to realistic playing and instead of being a fool. Round here, I am going to get through there, aren't I? I can't... No, I'm not. Oh, I cannot believe this. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you're learning from my mistakes. No. Please let me. Please, I'm begging you. Don't stop me. Oh, thank goodness for that. Don't ever go round the back of this building. Do not ever go round the back of this building. It is, it's not good. Adibu814, it's been a really long time since I watched your videos. How often do you live stream? This is the second time I've ever live streamed Farming Simulator, and I don't live stream very often. Every 3 weeks-ish. Right, someone said change it to the tip side. So, tip side back. Oh, do I need to change the tip side to the side then? Side left. No. Grain door. Why aren't you tipping? Why aren't you... Oh, hang on a minute. Hang on. Do I need to do this a minute? Do I need to unhitch you? Ah! Right, I don't want to tip it out of the grain door. That's going to take forever. 3% transported. Tip side, grain door. Nope. Nope. Tip side back. There we go. Right, so I couldn't tip this one with the other one hitched on. Does that mean I can't tip the other one? Is that is that a thing? Is that actually a thing now? Am I not allowed to? Frithgar.exe has failed. Yes, I'm good at doing that. I am good at doing that. Okay, so let's bring you up here. Are you allowed to tip, or have I got to get the... Oh, no, this one tips. So why didn't the other one let me tip? I don't understand. It didn't let me tip last time, and now it's letting me tip. I'm very confused as to why that didn't work properly in the first place. Very, very confused. Okay, confusion over. We have now done it, which means that we can go back out onto here and go out round here. It's no good. For some paint for the poor car owner. Thank you very much. It's no good. That is very awesome. I really appreciate that. Yes, we will have to buy a bit of paint for that car owner. I didn't touch him with the trailers, though. I did not touch him with the trailers. It was fine. It was all good. It was absolutely fine, and I didn't touch him with the trailers. It was just the wheels of the tractor. So technically, all I did was scrape some rubber along the side, and then it'll be absolutely fine. It's brilliant. It's fine. Let me just get rid of that one a minute. Okay, I'm gonna park you right there a second, and I'm gonna switch you off. And nope, go to you. How are we doing? We got 8 tons in here. We got a little bit of time before we go in here. I'm going to go up through and I'm going to get rid of a little bit more of this. Right, Andrew Roth, sorry I'm late. How's the live stream going? It seems to be going fairly well. Quite happy with this. Use side tip on both trailers. I know it wouldn't let me select it. I don't know why. It wouldn't let me do it. Packing in cigarettes in Australia is around $25 US. 25 US dollars. Australian dollars is about 50p about 50p a dollar, I think. It's roughly, I think, $2 US a pound. 2 Australian dollars a pound. If it's 25 US dollars a pack, that's about 20 quid for us. 20 pounds a pack? Good gravy, man. That is a bit expensive. Sarah Collins, what did you miss? Well, we've been doing combining. You did miss me just sweeping the paint of the side of the car up there, because I did try to squeeze back in. But I don't really get why I couldn't tip to start with. That didn't make any sense. Trailers would hit when tipping. Yeah, that would make sense, yes. You just need the first tip and a tip from the side and make sure it's selected. I'll try that. Lord Thundermonkey, I've been so busy running my own channel, I haven't been able to watch you like I used to. It's all your fault, Frith. You should never have inspired me to... You never should have inspired my old bit to produce my own channel. Well, I hope it's been going well for you. I really do. It's always awesome to hear people starting up new channels. Have you ever considered playing Euro Truck Sim 2 in a vid? I did do Euro Truck. I did a couple of time lapses in Euro Truck, and I sort of wondered about whether or not I should do it again. It wasn't actually that popular. It honestly wasn't that popular all that much. But then later on, it did sort of pick up a little bit. So there were a few views. I will consider, because I'm now planning to do a live stream weekend every 3 weeks. Ideally, I want to do this every 3 weeks. We go... Friday night will be a random game. It'll be something. It won't be Farming Simulator. And then the Saturday night will be Farming Simulator. But what I will consider doing is I don't want to be playing Euro Truck on the Friday and do Farming Simulator on the Saturday, because there's going to be too much with the steering wheel sitting in the same position. I'm going to end up getting too sore. I'm not going to be able to do it. So I will possibly do one of the live streams on Euro Truck instead of the Farming Simulator. But that's about it. I'm not planning to do any like Let's Plays or anything like that. Oh yeah, Michael Snyders, you got a point. I did kind of knock the mirror off as well, didn't I? Take it, the stream won't be on much longer. Well, the last couple of times I've done the stream, it's been like an hour and a half to 2 hours. So we'll see. I think we could be all right. I think we could be okay. So Wayne Welly, you probably got another 30 minutes to an hour. I'm not feeling very much discomfort at the moment. I'm feeling quite comfortable actually. So we should be all right for a little bit. I've been sort of shifting my position around a little bit. It's for those of you who don't know, basically there's this thing called hypermobility where your joints move a lot more than normal. Very often, those of you who really struggle with writing, you get writer's cramp really easily. That can be caused by a thing called hypermobility, and you find that if you don't move around very much, you don't move around very quickly, or you stay in the same place for a while, or same position, you get really sore. It starts to get quite painful. And if that's can be related to hypermobility, and you'll sometimes see kids. My youngest son, this is how I found out about it, my youngest son has got it. They hold their pens really weird, not like, you know, teachers will try and get you to hold a pen in a set way. They do it a little bit differently, and they like to grip the pens because they can't hold them normally because their joints move much further than you would normally. Now my fingers, I've always been able to move them a lot further. I got some double joints. My son can fold his fingers right back and touch the back of his wrists with them. But all his joints are like really loose. But me, I can't sit in the same position for very long. So when I'm doing something that requires the steering wheel, I can't move around, I can't shift in my chair so much, and it does make it a little bit more difficult. It does make it a little bit more, a bit tougher to do things, and it becomes painful for me after a while to sit in the steering wheel, in the chair with the steering wheel, because I can't constantly move around. I can't change my position a huge amount. So yeah, that's kind of what limits how much I can do with a game like this, is when I start to get uncomfortable. Now, let me... Jad, did play something you did do Let's Plays on a Friday stream, Jamie Burt? I will consider it. Let me have a drink a minute. Right, that's a bit better. Excuse me. Right, this is the other problem with live streaming, is I can't cough very much. Right. So, what else have we got? Will you ever play on the PS4? Well, see, this is the thing. We've got a PS4 in the house. I don't get on with the double joysticks. I really don't. I really struggle. Started drinking. Think Frithgar gave up his coffee and started drinking pints of bitter when dumping his trailers. You'd think I might have done then. You would think that I might have done. And who else have we got? People, you don't need cigarettes. Well, no, you don't need them, but trust me, they can. When you smoke regularly, they can make a difference. They really can. They can make a difference to life being wonderful and life being altogether unpleasant and stressful. Smoking is not as simple as just smoking or not smoking. It's a more complex thing. Trust me on this. I know. I speak from years of experience. What else have we got? So yeah, Jamie, you're saying about doing a Let's Play on something that I do a live stream on something that I've previously done a Let's Play on. Yes, I will. What I'm planning to do is, I did it this time. I put up a poll of 5 games that I thought I'd fancy playing one of these 5, and I did it on the community section on the channel. I think people get notifications for that as well. So I put up the poll to say, what do you want me to play for the live stream? And then I think we had like 1,500 people who answered that one, and over 50% of the vote went for the Colonists game this time. And so I played the Colonists. I did include in the poll me playing Conan Exiles, because I'm doing a load of building work on there, and I can't remember what else I included. I did include some others as well. And I will do that. That's my plan, is in the week run up to when I do the live stream weekends. The Friday evening live stream, I will put 5 games up. I'll put a choice of 5, or it might be a choice of 4, depending on what I fancy that week. And I will let you decide out of that. Feel free to make suggestions at any time, and I will take them on board. And if I like the idea of them, then I will take those. You know, they can be in the suggestions, but then I'll give the ultimate decision. Will be down to everybody that's watching. Treasure Hunter Simulator, that was another one that I'd not actually played before. But yeah, are you ever going to go back to Gold Rush? Now, I've talked about this before. I'm not. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. At the moment, I'm not feeling it. I look at the screenshots, I look at the new stuff that's come into Gold Rush, and I got completely and totally burned out in the game anyway. And I look at it, and I see the new stuff, and I just don't feel it. I'm just not feeling that game. Which for me is a sign that I should not try to go back and try and make videos on it, because all that's going to end up happening is the videos are going to come out absolutely terrible. It's not going to be a good video. So, at the moment, it's unlikely. Frithgar, did you ever study animation? Because I did. It's really stressing. Also stayed up till midnight once because of it. And so I think energy drinks are my addiction. Hang on. Mako D, you're 12. You shouldn't be drinking energy drinks. You drink one every 2 days. Right. You should not be drinking energy drinks. Those things are proven to be bad for people, for young people, right? Because you're still growing. You said yesterday you're 12, right? You're still growing. And there's a reason that they're trying to push to bring in an age limit of 18 years on energy drinks in more than one country, because they are actually dangerous. You should not be drinking energy drinks at your age. The high concentrations of caffeine and sugars and everything else that they've got in them are really bad for your heart. I strongly urge you to stop drinking energy drinks, at least until you get a bit older. Please, for your own health. UK law is 16 and over. They brought that in now, have they? I don't know. I wasn't aware that they'd brought it in. But yes, energy drinks at your age are really, really bad for you. There is a lot of medical research to back this up. It's not a good idea, even as an adult, to drink too many of them. I drink them every few days, but I drink massive amounts of coffee anyway, so I'm kind of used to caffeine. And it's the whole caffeine thing. If your body is used to caffeine, it's not actually that bad for you. It doesn't really make that much difference. When it becomes bad for you is when you don't normally consume caffeine and then you have a massive hit of the stuff. That can really mess you up. It's really bad for you. Yeah, if you're diabetic, you might want to steer clear of the energy drinks as well because of all the sugar that they've got in them. So, yeah. So, drink Monster, and I'm told you really shouldn't. You really shouldn't. There is actual, like, lots of medical evidence to back this up, that it is a seriously, seriously bad idea. Do not go drinking energy drinks when you're, like, really young. It's so bad for you. Like, proper dangerous bad for you. I'm not kidding. It's like actual bad for you. It would probably be healthier for you to go and start smoking than it is for you to drink energy drinks at that age, right? I have actually heard doctors say that it is better for you to smoke than it is to drink energy drinks at a young age. I'm not saying to do that. What I'm saying is it's probably best not to do either of them. But yeah, Patro Gracemark, never understood energy drinks, weird taste, and caffeine literally does nothing in terms of energy. Right. The thing with energy drinks with me is I think it's the combination of the caffeine and the sugar, because it's a slightly bigger hit than my normal cup of coffee, I suppose. But I tend to drink energy drinks alongside my coffee when I need something a little bit extra. And I'm trying to read the stuff up through here. I actually really like the taste of a lot of the energy drinks. I really like Red Bull. I really like the taste of Red Bull. Although there's a lot of own brand ones now that have that exact same taste, and I really like I like the taste of them. I really enjoy them. I'm quite happy to have those every now and then. It's not a good idea for to drink too many of them. But yeah, it's the combination of the sugar and the caffeine all at once in a big hit, and it can be bad for you. I'm not exactly sure. Like, there's a lot of science behind it, and in order for it to be particularly dangerous for an adult, you've really got to be chugging the stuff back at a ridiculous rate. And yeah, so it can have some bad effects on you, so it's probably not a great idea. I used to make my own energy drinks. So I used to get the caffeine tablets, Pro Plus caffeine tablets, and I'd get a pack of 20 of them and mix them into a litre bottle of Coke, and then I'd drink that all day. I'm not I shouldn't be saying this. There are children watching this stream. I shouldn't be telling you. I'm not trying to give you tips. I am not giving you tips. I'm absolutely not giving anybody any tips on what they should be doing. That's what I used to do. I would pop all of those in. Good night and fare thee well to anybody that is now leaving. And also have a fantastic Christmas. But yeah, that's what I used to do, because if I was like working late and then I had to get up really early in the morning, in order to be able to keep myself going, in order to be able to just sort of be able to keep focusing and keep working, keep pushing myself, yeah, I would get like a pack of 20 Pro Plus, stick them into the bottle of Coke, and then spend the day drinking that. And my goodness me, it would work. Excuse me. Right. Yeah, it would work. It would definitely work. But I'm not sure that I would recommend it. I'm not sure that I would recommend having that too much, because your body does have to pay for it. You can't like keep going with this forever and ever. You've got to, you do have to pause, and you've got to let your body recover. So, you know, I would do that, but then I would be sure to make sure that I would have a break from pushing myself like that, so that my body could recover. And I've heard horror stories of people who've taken a whole load of caffeine, a whole load of Pro Plus tablets, and it's really, really seriously permanently damaged them because they haven't allowed their body time to recover. They've kept going, kept pushing themselves. But I would, if I would do that, I would then take a day sometime very, very close to that, and not like go popping Pro Plus and Coke and anything else that I could get my hands on, and like break from it and try to calm it down a little bit, so that I could my body could then recuperate and rest naturally. But yeah, it's still not a sensible thing to do. It's definitely not a sensible thing to do. Douglas Campbell, caffeine affects how your body absorbs calcium. I genuinely didn't know that. I did not know anything about that. Previous chat, have Ritalin for energy. Now, I thought that Ritalin was only like for energy if there's certain conditions. I'm not sure. I thought there was something to do with certain conditions. Grape sugar is a good way to get energy. Are you actually meaning grape sugar as in fermented grape sugar? I know plenty of people that would like that. I know a lot of people that would like that. Would you ever do multiplayer on FS19 as a live stream or let's play? I don't have a server set up or anything like that, but at the moment, I'm saying no to multiplayer. I know that there are people that would really like to do multiplayer with me, and I do appreciate that you'd like to do multiplayer with me, but at the moment I'm saying no to multiplayer. I'm not planning to go down that road. Not at the moment. I will see. We'll have to sort of wait. I'm not really sure. Right. Hang on. Let me have another drink. My throat's really going today. If you need energy, drink the purple fruit shoots. My children bounce off the walls after drinking that, so you've had to stop. Yeah, fruit shoots. These wonderful, that's the Robinson's fruit shoots, isn't it? That's the ones you're talking about. I know people who've had that, you know, give their kids those fruit shoot things, and they are packed with sugar. I don't care if it says sugar-free on the pack or anything like that. I don't believe it for a moment. Those things are terrible. They are. If you don't like someone very much, go and give their kids fruit shoots, and then back slowly away. Just back slowly away after giving the fruit shoots, and then see. What's going on? He likely or not, he's had bad experiences with multiplayer. I've not personally had bad experiences, but I've seen bad experiences with multiplayer. I have seen quite a number of bad experiences, and so yeah, I would say at the moment it's unlikely. We will see. I'm not really sure what's going on with... There's some conversations going on here in the chat that I've got no clue what you guys are talking about. Band of Mighty Warriors, we fight for the light. I'll take your word for it. I'm going to let you guys carry on with that one. Frith question, have you heard of Bars and Melody? Bars and Melody? Are you talking about just music in general, or are you talking about a particular band? Because I've not heard a particular band called Bars and Melody. I'm familiar with what a bar is on a music sheet and melodies and so on. I used to play the piano. Eric King, my uncle says ADHD, he gets the opposite effect from caffeine. Now that's the thing with ADHD, and it's the same with Ritalin, isn't it? When you give a kid with ADHD, when they have Ritalin, calms them down. But when you give someone that doesn't have ADHD, it has completely the opposite effect. It works like caffeine. So I'm wondering whether Ritalin is actually something to do with that. I don't know. Is it or isn't it? I genuinely don't know. With how does that work? I think it's something to do with that, isn't it? I do know that it works differently. I've never actually tried a Ritalin tablet, and I would like to, because I'm fairly certain that I have ADHD. Read more about the symptoms of it, because ADHD is not just a kid bouncing off the walls. It's an inability to focus on one thing for any length of time. It's a constant desire for change and new things and different things, and your brain is like all over the place. Yeah, it's and also you can be, when you've got ADHD, you can be more susceptible to things like the fruit shoots, and then you become this demon-possessed child that Miss Mucky Pup is now talking about. Yes, I absolutely agree. I mean, there were things that I used to become a demon-possessed child when I was younger. There were certain things I was not allowed to have. There was things with red. There was a type of red food coloring that I was absolutely not allowed to have when I was younger, because if I had it, my goodness me, kabloomy. Caffeine-containing beverage consumption has been reported to be associated with reduced bone mass and increased fracture risk in some, but not all people. Yeah, your bone strength doesn't actually reach your proper full bone strength doesn't reach maximum capacity until you're in your late 20s, isn't it? So, yeah, your bones still put on mass through most of your 20s, I believe. But I didn't know that, Douglas Campbell, so thank you very much. I'm going to want to go and sort of look that up now and then see a bit more about that. That's really cool, so thank you for letting me know that. And Frith, you can get grape sugar as little sweets in German pharmacies. Can you? I didn't know that. Sure what else is. I have no idea what they're talking about either. Yeah. Half the time, I can have a conversation with somebody and I don't even know what I'm talking about. So sometimes it's good to look at other people's conversations and I can understand it. Other times I've got no clue. But if I don't always understand what I'm talking about myself all the time, I haven't really got much hope of being able to understand what other people are talking about most of the time. Nan and Grandad or other family members. Yeah, see, I like this idea. I'm going to go and buy a load of fruit shoots now, and I'm just going to randomly give them out to harassed. This is what I'm going to do. So this is going to be. I'm going to be generous over Christmas, and all the little children will love me at Christmas because I'm going to give out fruit shoots. And what I will do is I will go around and I will find the most harassed-looking mothers, and I will say, "Look, here is a little treat for your angels. It might, just help things a little bit." And then I'll give them fruit shoots, and everybody will think that I'm evil and I'm awful. Okay, maybe I won't do that. That's not very nice. Frithgar, when you're doing Felsbrunn again, there will be a Felsbrunn out tomorrow. Or at least there should be. I've still got to finish doing the subtitles for it. The subtitles for Felsbrunn. I am halfway through doing tomorrow's subtitles. I'm going to finish that tonight before I go to sleep. Actually, I might end up finishing it tomorrow morning because I've still got to edit tomorrow's videos as well. I got a little bit behind. I've been doing other things. We're going to finish this a little bit. You know what? The hired help is going to stop right here. And I'm going to do this myself. I'm actually going to do this bit myself. We've been watching the hired help. And I've been looking at the chat up there. So we are going to go down through here. And I don't know. I don't actually know what he's doing, Smudo. The garbage we talk about shall not disturb you. Do not listen. Bring this up round here. There we go. I will finish this I will do this. This is what I'm going to do, is I've dismissed the hired help. Now I'm going to finish this field myself. And then when the farmer comes along, I'm going to say, look what I did. Aren't I a clever boy? And then that's how it's going to work. MacOD, how long is this stream going to go for? Oh, I don't know. We'll probably go for another half an hour. Something like that. Nicholas, what are you doing exactly? Not really sure. I have a weak liver. Cannot spell. Spelling, we don't mind. We don't mind spelling. We're not looking at spelling here because, quite frankly, there is a lot of people here who have English as their second language, or their third language, or even their fourth language. And quite frankly, I feel that none of us who have English as our first language are in a position to be criticizing someone else's spelling when most of us who speak English as our first language can only speak English. I don't really feel. I don't really feel that that's it's a thing. Now let me go bring that up round there. There we go. We'll drop that into the first trailer, and we'll see if we can get this one to unload properly now. And then I'll dump the rest in there. I did not just wallop the side of that trailer. It was a figment of your imagination. It's getting late in the day. The sunlight, just the way that as we turned the corner, it just kind of nudged things a little bit. So yeah, there's nothing there to worry about. Right. Now, the spam is real. Yes. Right, the spamming has stopped now. Udo Major has taken care of the spamming. That has now been dealt with. So if I just close that one down, I'm just going to fold that one. I want to see if we can just fold this one up. You can leave the machinery any way you like. It doesn't actually make any difference. Fold that bad boy up there. I feel we've done quite well, actually. It's 9:20. So we've been going for an hour and 20 minutes. And we've now finished all of this field. This one is 10 hectares. Whereas field 8 is 15 hectares. We might have actually been able to do a full harvest job on field 8. We might have done, but I can't remember what was in that field beforehand. I'm not sure. Anyway, doesn't matter. One thing I did forget to do when we went up the road last time was this. You do actually need to have your covers on if you're bombing up the road so that you... Well, sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. When I used to do grain carting in the summer... I did grain carting quite a few times there, quite a few summers, and got to make sure it's empty by tapping it first. Yeah, I might try explaining that to someone one day when I've just written off the corner of their header. I was just making sure the trailer was empty. That was all. And no way will that... Jamie Burt, giving things to kids, no way will that get the attention of Operation U-Tree. You've got a fair point there. Maybe I ought to back... okay, I'm going to backpedal on that little plan. I am not going to be Santa Claus in disguise. I'm not going to run around the countryside giving things to kids because, yeah, let's not go down that road. I do not want to be anything to do with Operation U-Tree. Glad spelling isn't important. Some people can't understand my accent half the time. I got called Cornish once. Terrible. Where are you from then, Mr. Boone? If you're not from Cornwall. I thought you were from Cornwall. Honestly, I did. Why did I think you were from Cornwall? Unless I was thinking of someone else. Now, what are we going to do in here? So, this one here, obviously we can't tip at the moment. So then if I press U, change tip side left. Now, it should tip there, shouldn't it? Shouldn't it be able to tip? I mean, I thought the covers came off automatically. They do with the other ones. So then we'll go back to this one here, tip side. Let me change the tip side again. Tip side right. Maybe I need to be in the right place for it. It's not having it. It does not want... Excuse me. Oh. It does not want me to do that at all. But if I unhitch the back trailer a minute, like that, now I've got this trailer. It's not going to allow me to do that. If I go forward a bit, it's not going to allow me to do anything there. Now I can start overloading. So it won't let me tip onto the side. I'm thinking that's just because of this, the where this one is. So I think this particular trailer... No, don't tip out through that one. I don't want to tip out through that one. Go to that one there. Wait a minute. Am I looking... Yes, that's better. So, it does appear that this particular trailer, we've got to unhitch it. Frithgar, what are you doing tomorrow? I'm actually recording 3 episodes tomorrow for the day after Boxing Day, so that I don't have to record anything on Boxing Day. And that's going to be the very last of the recording I'm going to do before Christmas. And then I will be editing. I'll be spending the rest of the day editing, getting all the rest of my videos edited and done and up to scratch and all finished. They'll all be done. And there's the contract finished, and we get to sell the last of the beans off of this field. So we've gone all the way up to 53,000, 18,000 almost harvest income right there. And then if I go into here, and I go to that one, leasing costs, we lost $2,000 for our leasing costs, but we still get another $16,000 for doing that little job there. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. We get dumped out of the tractor. Now that means we've got to walk home. Perhaps we should have done this after we'd gotten home first. But never mind. It's all right. We did it. So we've done our job there. We've done everything that we wanted to do. I feel that we've done well. And I'm not going to do any more contracting for now. I don't think we got... No, I don't want to do any baling. Those jobs are quite big jobs. We've got a small harvesting job over there. We've got those. We'll leave those for a minute. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to this one. And we're going to start heading back. We're going to get the rest of the bales that we've got in our field. And we'll sell those. So yeah, we do have to unhook the back trailer. That's the first thing. Here's me and Frithgar in the UK. And all the rest of you are living the dream elsewhere around the world. I don't know. I don't know about living the dream. See, this is... I was actually having a conversation with someone about this today. And, you basically, long story short, and people that they see other places around the world, it's like you go on holiday to this place, you go on holiday to that place. It's absolutely wonderful there. It's absolutely amazing. And you sort of think, well, I'd really love to live here because it's so much better than home. You know, you haven't got all these worries all the time and so on and so forth. The thing is, you spend a year, 2 years saving up for a wonderful holiday, and you go and have a holiday, and the whole point of a holiday is you go there and you don't take all your worries and your bills with you. And then you go there and this place seems wonderful, and it kind of makes the place seem better. But wherever you go in the world, you've still got your bills. So what you've then got to sort of look at is, well, actually, there's, you know, how was it that this, I want to try and put this politely, you've still got to eat, sleep, and poop. Basically, you've still got to eat, poop, and sleep. It doesn't matter where you live in the world, you've still got to do those 3 things, right? You've got to eat, poop, and sleep. And in order to do that, you're going to need, you know, your job, you want a bed and everything else. And it makes a difference. It makes a difference being on holiday and being waited on compared to actually having to live there. It doesn't really matter where you live in the entire world. It's very cool. I had to read Graveyard Keeper comments and find spam comment like first seconds. Just wants to read the tips. First and second comments, I like first and second comments. It's got to be said. And speaking from the point of view of a YouTuber, and having read on the official YouTube comments, looking on the YouTube forums, where other YouTubers talk about this, one of the first signs that you feel you're starting to become successful as a YouTuber is that people will go and put first on your videos. It's something that is considered like, it's quite a thing. It's like a landmark almost, that your videos are now popular enough that people feel the need to say first for a comment being on that video. I will never ever complain about people putting first on my videos, ever. And it's something that I also quite like to see. It's got to be said. And so, it's just a little thing. You always... It looks a bit strange from the outside, and there are a lot of people that don't sort of see the need of having to look at, see first comments turning up and seconds and stuff like that. But in actual fact, from the side of being the YouTuber, and I can speak for more than just me, I can speak for a lot of YouTubers. I've seen hundreds of people talking about this particular subject. It's actually something, whether or not we all admit to it publicly on our channels, is actually something we all love to see. Alright, that the whole first thing is genuinely something that there are very few YouTubers that don't like comments coming up with first. There are few and far between are the comments that do come up. And I do appreciate that, it annoys you, the viewer, to see these comments. But, and so a lot of YouTubers will say, oh yeah, I don't really like seeing those either. It's just people being ridiculous. Whereas, secretly, and they'll admit this on the YouTube forums. If you go and look where the people that run the YouTube channels, and we'll talk about it on the forums, it's actually something that they'll all say that they like to see. It's really weird. Okay, so yeah, it's quite a thing. It is a very bizarre thing that it tends to be something that the YouTubers like, but the people that are actually commenting on the videos, a lot of them don't like, and it does cause a bit of friction here and there. So I'm just open about it, like I am with most things. Is where I like to see them. I do. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say, oh, I don't mind. It does actually please me that I see these comments coming up. And, yeah, there's something about them that's just kind of awesome. Right. Living in the Caribbean, an upgrade from the rainy UK, for example. I had my honeymoon in the Caribbean. Well, see, this is the thing. I can understand some people thinking that living in the Caribbean is an upgrade from the UK. I know people that live in the Caribbean, on a few of the different islands there, and some of the time, half the year actually, it's a really, really wonderful place. And she said it is. It's a wonderful place for half the year. The other half the year, you spend most of your time really religiously, frantically watching the weather reports at all times, wondering whether or not you're going to spend the rest of that hurricane season rebuilding your house. So there are pros and cons to living in the Caribbean. So yeah, it's kind of, there's always there's pluses and minuses too, just about anyway. Ryan G, first to comment on the stream again. I did see that. I seen you as the first one up there on today's stream. I did see you do that. That was very cool. Ryan G was the first person to ever comment on any of my live streams ever, and he's now got that is his claim to fame. First person to ever comment on Frithgar's live stream. I bought this one, didn't I? There's no point in asking you lot if I bought this one, because you haven't seen that episode yet. Spoiler alert, by the way. Spoiler alert coming in. I'm going to bring this bad boy down over here. I'm just going to drop that one right there. We really do need to build a barn here, don't we? That's got to be another thing that we need to do. Mako D was first to comment on today's Graveyard Keeper. Awesome. Hang on. I'm just sort of looking up. Oh, I know what I'll do. I'm going to go down through here. And I'm going to get on a horse. And we're just going to go for a little ride on a horse, because we haven't done that yet. The grandest castle anywhere. Castle built, and I don't know what castle you guys are talking about. I'm just generally a bit confused by what you're talking about right there. Right, we have Tech Lime the horse right here, and we're going to go for a little bit of a trot. Going to go, and I'm going to exercise both of the horses, I think, now. Because we're not going to do any more. My voice is starting to get a little bit much now. So I'm just going to keep an eye on these, and we're going to exercise the horses and see if we can get them both up to 100%. And we won't be doing all that much more today, I don't think, other than running these around. I'll answer questions. I will talk, and we will keep going with it. What else have we got? Okay, I don't know about that. Hang on. Call the troops. Yeah, I'm seriously, I've got no idea what is going on. Absolutely no idea. Not a clue. Isn't there an island in the Caribbean where the only things on the island are pigs? I don't know, actually. There could very well be. There are a lot of islands down in the Caribbean. There are a huge number of islands in the Caribbean. So there could very well be something to do with that somewhere. One thing I'm disappointed at with FS19, by the way, is the fact that we don't have any placeables for, like, power. But I'm a little bit disappointed with that. Okay? Now, this right here, look. This right here. What is it? Is this a pump? I think this is actually just a pump. I was thinking it was something else. But this, I believe this is a pump. This is a solar-operated pump. It's down a borehole down there. And there. Doesn't appear to be working very well, but I'm pretty sure that is a pump. And let's run back over this way. How are we doing? 89%. By the time we get back to our house, back to our pen, this horse will be fully exercised, which is good. Because then we'll be able to... Well, no, we can't quite skip the night yet. As I said before, do not listen. It is utter nonsense. Oh, yeah, jump the cliff. I'm going to do that. I'll do that the other one. We'll take the other horse out, because this one will be fully ridden by that time. Kind of interesting how the views fluctuate during the course of the stream. Sing, I got a brand new combine harvester. You don't want me to sing. I could. I'm not going to, though. I'm gonna leave that. I don't think I want to be doing that today. I do know the song. I actually like the song. I like the wuzzles. The wuzzles are quite funny. Right. What do we got? Yes, he is 100%. So now we want to go over to you over here. And we're going to take Tyree. Go on. Jump, Tyree. Jump. And it's straight up there, isn't it? So we want to go up that way, I think. Yes, we do. Okay, so we need to go up through here. And straight up through there. YouTube ad for ages. This is the thing. Somebody was saying about the YouTube ads, and they find it really annoying when they're really, really long adverts, because if they want to support a channel. It doesn't matter whether it's this channel or any channel. If you want to support the channel, obviously, you know, most of you know that, you know, we get a significant chunk of our income from adverts. But what a lot of people don't realize is you don't need to watch the whole advert. You need to watch 30 seconds of it. So I'm just going to let you in on a little secret here. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this or not. I really hope that I don't get some snotty letter from YouTube or someone else. Basically, you need to watch 30 seconds. For it to count, you have to watch 30 seconds. You gotta go, and if it's obviously is under, then you just watch the whole advert. But if it's over 30 seconds, just watch 30 seconds. And then after 30 seconds, a jump! There we go! Oh! Oh, that was fantastic! That was absolutely brilliant. We got 54% riding. We're going to do that again. Let's see if his legs will hold up and do that once more. That was fantastic. Genuinely awesome. Oh, that was amazing. But yeah, if you want to support, you watch 30 seconds. So if there's an advert comes up and it says it's got 2 minutes or it's got 5 minutes or whatever it might be, watch first 30 seconds and then leave it. Then you don't need to do any more. That was absolutely brilliant. Right. There is an island in the Caribbean where you can swim with pigs. Okay, I genuinely didn't know that. An island where you can swim with pigs. That's pretty cool. Nonsense is what you do best, Frith. Yeah, you're not the first person to say that. Mind a fun fact for you, Frith. If you spread a fine layer of wood chips over the feed tip zones, it'll make the animals maintenance free. As it happens, I've been wanting to do something with wood chips at some point soon. And, yeah. I'm not going to say any more about that. I'm not going to say any more about that at all. We're going to go up on round again. And here we go. Here we go. We're going to have one more jump. We're going to have one more jump. Highly realistic, highly realistic. Here we go. I've been told that some people like watching my videos because I do things so realistically. So that was brilliant. It's just the way that he cut when he landed. He sort of nosedived into the ground as soon as he landed. Oh, that was brilliant. That was absolutely awesome. It was worth it. It was definitely worth it. We just want to do a little bit more riding around. Oh, that was great. Yeah, I do know the song I Got a Brand New Combine Harvester, and I'll give you the key. I got 40 acres, and you got 23. Something like that. I got 20 acres, and you got 43. I can't remember which way round it is now. No, but anyway, I've seen the Wurzels live, and I watched them perform that song live. It was very cool. It was very, very cool. Mako D, what is your greatest fear? Personally, I hate clowns. My greatest fear. I've always been very nervous around dogs. I don't tell people this very much. I don't tell people this very much at all. I don't have any particular, like, genuine terror fears. Anything like that. And, you know, beyond fairly normal, what I would consider to be a healthy mistrust of things like swarming wasps and stuff like that. I've kept bees. I used to keep bees. So I'm quite familiar with wasps and things like that. But, so yeah, I'm not, like, particularly scared of them. But if I was to come upon a nest of wasps, I would back cautiously away because I wouldn't want to go too close to them. But I've always been very, very cautious of dogs. Very cautious of dogs. It doesn't really matter what the dog is like. I've always been rather nervous about dogs. It's just a thing that I've always been nervous around. So I'd say that's probably the greatest fear. But greatest fear, anything that moves, growls, swims, or looks at him in games. Yes, yes, almost definitely yes. That's probably right. In particular, things that move, growl, swim, and look at me when I can't see them and they sneak up on me from behind. That is genuinely terrifying. That is. Okay, I'm going to fast forward time a little bit. The answer is 21. The answer is 21. Gods will not be happy, and they'll do the sacrifice doing the hardest maths question. The 21. I'm pretty sure the answer was always 21, wasn't it? Pretty sure the answer is 21. What is your favorite tractor brand? My favorite tractor brand would either Massey Ferguson or John Deere, to be honest. Those are the ones that I grew up with. I grew up driving an old John Deere 2650 and a Massey Ferguson 35. It's actually a Massey 35 with a Massey 65 engine in it that my granddad, that would be Wesley, the actual Wesley who I based the character and the time-lapse on, he, with his brother, they converted this Massey 35 and they put a 65 engine in it. So yeah, that particular Massey 35 has got a special place in my heart. I've used it quite a bit. Those weeds in that field are looking terrible now. They are looking absolutely awful. Right, so what else have we got? I'm going to be going soon. I think what we'll do is we'll go for another little ride on the horses. We'll take the horses around for another little ride. We've got 4% cleanliness on those sheep. That's not very good. Chickens are slowly building up a little bit. They've got 0% cleanliness. The horses, we've got 30 grand that one's worth, and this one's only worth 17, but he's picking up a bit, so that's good. Right, so let's go and take Techline for a little bit of a ride, shall we? We'll do another little bit of a ride around. We'll just go up this way, I suppose. Just while I answer just the last few questions for you, let's have a look back down. I fear heights, which is a pain when climbing scaffolds for work. My brother, he has to do a lot of stuff up scaffolds for work, and he's afraid of heights as well. He flat out refuses to go on the roof at all. He'll go up the ladder onto the scaffolding, but he won't leave the scaffolding to go up on the roofs. Now, you know, a lot of people will snigger at you if you're scared of heights with scaffolding and stuff like that. A lot of people will snigger, and I don't understand that. I can go up on the scaffolding. I can quite happily climb up the outside of the scaffolding on a 4-story high house and just shinny up the scaffolding without any problems whatsoever because I'm not scared of heights. That doesn't make me a better person than someone who's scared of heights. That it makes me just, that's what I'm able to do. The fact that you can go up on the scaffolding when you're, the fact you can go up on the scaffolding when you're afraid of heights, that's an accomplishment. That is quite an accomplishment. And you get so many people that are like, oh, you're afraid of heights, oh, that's nothing, watch this, and then they go do it. That's not an accomplishment. If you're doing something you're not scared of, that's not an accomplishment. That doesn't compare. It's not a comparison. Who cares that you can go and, like, shimmy up the outside of the scaffolding 4 stories up off the ground when you're not afraid of heights in the slightest and you're really sure of yourself when you're climbing? That's not an accomplishment. It is an accomplishment to go up the ladder onto the 4th story on the scaffolding when you're terrified of going up the ladder onto the first one. So, yeah, James Boone, that is, like, I understand where you're coming from. I'm not scared of heights, but I've seen people who are scared of heights, and I've seen it's something that you've got to sort of combat every single day. And inspected a church tower, once had to climb to the top on the scaffold. That must have been genuinely terrifying for you. It really would. To me, I see that, and I'm like, oh, that sounds absolutely awesome. I would very much like to do that. But, yeah, you know, it's a very different thing. Right. Oh, someone said about the afraid of the wolves. Wayne Welly, only the long duck. Well, actually, wolves would probably scare me more than just about anything else. Because I don't particularly like dogs, I am very, very nervous around dogs. The idea of facing down a pack of wolves that was something that would genuinely scare me, right? If one of you was there with me, I would probably just step behind you and let you face down the wolves. And, yeah, that's what I would do. I would bravely let you go in front of me and deal with the wolves. That's what I would do. Frithgar, what made you start your channel? Because I like playing games and I wanted to be a YouTuber. And I worked in a factory in a job I absolutely hated and detested. And I thought, well, if I could become a YouTuber, I could do something that I actually like doing for money. I do get, is it a rewarding experience being able to make videos for people that I really like? Yes, it is. But ultimately, why did I become a YouTuber? For money. And anybody that says I didn't do it for money, I don't care about the money, I take that with a grain of salt, because quite frankly, it's, I know I'm just running around in circles at the moment whilst I'm talking. I'm sorry, I should do something a bit more interesting. Let's go and put this horse away. We'll at least go and get a cultivator and start doing something in this field, shall we? Right, the people who say that they don't do their YouTube channel for money. They're not interested in the money. They're only interested in making videos to make people happy. There's nothing to do with the money whatsoever. And then they get really stroppy when the money drops on the videos. See, I don't quite get that. I don't know why it's a bad thing to say, I'm doing this for the money. Of course I'm doing this for the money. I do this. This is my job. And it's my dream job. This is why I wanted to do it. I'm able to do... Ooh, wait. There. I'm now able to do my dream job, and this is what I get paid for, right? So this is my source of income. It's absolutely wonderful that I can do this. So yes, of course I'm doing it for money. I'm not trying to work for free. Yeah, there are people who've been on YouTube, been there since the beginning when there was no money to be made. Yes, there is people who've been here since way back in the beginning. PewDiePie, he started before YouTube themselves gave them money. And he said, he actually talked about this in one of his videos. He said that he started doing YouTube because he wanted to be able to find a way to make a living doing videos. And so that's what he did. But this was before YouTube themselves started paying. So instead, what you had to do was you had to go and get the... Oh, no, I have to just stop that a minute. I have to turn this one around. You had to build your channel up and start getting sponsorships and that from other people. And that's how you got your income. But he said himself that he started doing it because he liked the idea of being able to make videos for a living. He wanted to be able to do it to be paid. And so it's like, I started doing it after YouTube had already said, oh, we're going to be paying people to do it. And we're going to give a cut of the avenue, the avenue revenue, the ad revenue. So yeah, it's a thing. Miss Monkey Butt, I've severe anxiety, so I'm scared of everyone and everything every day, and it's horrible. I know I don't personally have severe anxiety. I do get anxious about some things, but I don't have severe anxiety. I know people who do have severe anxiety. I suffer from depression. Depression is not something that just goes away. You're never quite cured of it. It's always something that's there in the background that you just kind of live with. And you learn to identify the signs, and you learn how to sort of get through it. Anxiety is quite a thing to have on your shoulder all the time. It's, you know, and I know people who have anxiety, and it's not a, it's another one of those things that so many people don't quite understand. Is think, oh well, you get over it. No, you don't. Anxiety, depression, ADHD, this is not all just new terms and new things that have now been made up in order to give people a job somewhere, identifying it and curing it. These are all actual conditions. And the thing is, something like anxiety and depression and the ADHD and all the rest, they are now able to see what is causing these things. They can see the chemical imbalance in the brain. They can see the different results for a brain scan showing up when you've got these different things that are going on, and how different that is from everybody else, and the people that don't suffer from these conditions. If I'm having a bad day with depression, my brain is going to be incredibly different to what it would be on a normal day. Because I'm slightly ADHD as well, my brain's going to be lit up like a Christmas tree half the time anyway, which is different to a lot of other people as well. But it's complex, and there's a lot of underlying things that cause it. So it doesn't. It's not something to be ashamed of, and I don't like that some people that suffer from these things feel like it's something to be ashamed of. I've gone onto a building site before now, and I've said I have depression. I suffer from depression. It's something that I suffer from. And you'll have people who have worked together for the last 30 years. Maybe not 30 years, 20 years. It was actually 20 years. The example I'm talking about is 20 years. They'd worked together for 20 years. And there were 4 people there. 3 of them said, so do I. And none of them had a clue about the others, because nobody had ever said anything about it before. And I went back there like a couple of weeks later, and all of them had been talking about it almost continuously for the 2 weeks in between, and just having this like massive group therapy session on the building site. And one of them came up and shook my hand, and he said, nobody's ever actually said it without shame or anything like that. It's just, you stated it like it was a fact. It's just a fact. It's just, you don't go up to someone who's broken their leg and say, well, get over it. Just pull yourself together. And Miss Monkey Pup, it's like living in constant fear, getting good days and bad days. Yeah. That's what it is with a lot of it. It's, you know, you get good days and you get bad days. But it's not something... It's just another thing that you live with. And people that might tell you, oh yeah, we'll just get over it and pull yourself together, that infuriates me. It really does, because there's so many different things. And yes, Wayne Welly, depression in men is still taboo for certain people. It is, and it's absolutely ridiculous because the #1 cause of death in men under 50 is suicide. Right? Now, apologies to younger people watching and so on, but this is a really serious thing. Talk about your feelings. It doesn't matter how old you are. Talk about your feelings, right? And I've heard this all the time. You know, man up, as in suppress your emotions. Don't cry even. Now, men typically cry a lot less than what women will. It's not because we've been taught that way. It's because the testosterone in our bodies means that we do actually physically cry less than we physically cry less than women, right? But there's this huge shame associated with a man crying, and that is, I think, a really bad thing, because sometimes you do need to cry. You know, occasionally it is something. It's a way of helping to process emotion, and processing emotion is very, very important. It is what gets passed on this. Tyson, I don't know about Tyson Fury. I've heard of him, but I don't know about him. But I know that, you know, The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, played the Scorpion in the Scorpion King, wasn't it? And he's also been in Fast and Furious and a load of other films and stuff as well. He's like, you know, big, solid, big brute of a man, isn't he? He sat there and he said, I've been through depression. I have been through it, and I have been there and, you know, not known where to go, not known how to carry on. And there's more and more people that are now talking about it. And this is something that you see a lot, is that you get so many people who don't seem to think that it's okay for a man to express emotion. And apparently it's not, you know, it's not acceptable for a man to express emotion. And I am so dead against this. It really does. It infuriates me. It genuinely infuriates me when you just told, you know, get over it. Don't, you know, man up. Don't show emotion. So yeah, and that is really, really bad, and that is why, among men under 50, the single biggest killer is suicide. And that is why. It's because we've got this massive culture everywhere. It's just keep it in, keep it suppressed. Don't show emotion other than anger or laughter. You can't get by on anger and laughter, right? You cannot survive on anger and laughter. It doesn't work. And for so long, I would do that, and it got to the point where I got really, really, really bad, and I didn't know what to do. It just sort of spiraled downwards and downwards and downwards, and I was always told, you know, man up, just get over it, and so on. And I went to my doctor. It wasn't like I don't have like a regular doctor. I just went to the doctor, and I went into the surgery, and I sat down in the chair, and it was like, well, I don't really know what to do. And then I burst into tears. I actually burst into tears in her chair and started to try and talk about some of the things that was going on. And she actually rang the reception, and she said, I'm gonna what did she say? I don't remember exactly. It's not exactly clear. I wasn't really focusing on what she was saying, but she essentially said, my appointment's now going to be running late. And I sat there and I cried for like 20 minutes, and it was the best thing that ever happened. It probably saved my life. So I have been through there. I've been through some really, really rough times. And yeah, yeah, I know we're getting 2 hours now, aren't we? So I will start to. We're gonna have to wrap this up now. I'm just sort of watching this, but I did just want to say this because it's been touched on again, and it's all in your head, and it's awful. It's terrible. It genuinely does suck. things like depression and that. But the great thing about it is that it's not all in your head, right? It's not. There are all kinds of medications. Now, anxiety is different. I don't know very much about anxiety. I've not studied it very much. My own battle is with depression. That's what I've got. That's an illness that I've got. I was taking tablets for it. I don't take tablets for it anymore. I'm able to manage it without tablets anymore. But that being said, the tablets, I did take the tablets, and they did really, really make a big difference to me to start with. Those tablets, they really, really helped. The other thing those tablets did was that they meant that I couldn't sleep. So for the first 2 weeks I was taking these tablets, I barely slept at all. I was like sleeping for like 2 hours a night. It was terrible. But anyway, overall, there's a lot of stuff that goes on, and it's not helped by some medical depressions, some medical professionals that should know better, that still dismiss this stuff out of hand as actually just all in your head. So yeah, I got given some tablets to take, and I took the tablets, and they really, really helped. And then I took myself off the tablets, and now I kind of manage it without tablets. One of the things that I do, if those of you follow me on Instagram, you may notice that I occasionally, I build a fire out in my garden, and I built a little shelter type thing. That was only like a little bit of experimentation. It wasn't a real one, but I like to have barbecues and stuff. I need to get outside. I get away from screens, and I get away from people. I get away from all forms of communication. I generally don't reply to all that many comments at the weekend. I try to completely break away from this at the weekend, and I try to, for at least a good few hours, completely shut myself off from anybody and everybody, just because it does help me to feel a little bit better, and then I can sort of start to level myself again. If I'm having a bad day, if I'm having a particularly bad day, I will sometimes go out late in the evening, and I'll make myself a little fire, and I will just sit outside in the dark with a little campfire going in the middle of my garden. My neighbours probably think I'm a lunatic, but quite frankly, I couldn't care less. There's always things that you can do. But anyway, I really am going to have to wrap things up now, and we're going to call it quits. So when I come back to recording, we'll have jumped on quite a bit here. So you've had quite the spoiler alert of what's going to happen here. Right. We just read through a couple more here. Depression due to a work colleague. See, it's, yeah, it does. People tell you to suck it up. They don't understand it. That's the big thing. Like, I've had some arguments with people that are close to me that just don't get it. And the only way that you can explain is you just got to say to them, look, the way that this works is it's not actually just something that's in your head. It's a physical thing, and it's been proven. It's your brain scans that show what it looks like when a person's suffering from this or a person's suffering from this, and what's going on with it there. And it does. It all shows up on that and on these scans and everything, and so there's physically something wrong. It's like having a broken leg, right? So it's not just a thing you can pull yourself together. It's not something to be ashamed of. You don't say that you've got a broken leg and, oh yeah, you just need to get over it. So if you don't need to just get over a broken leg, and you actually need to have the correct medical help and support in order to get over that, then you also need the correct medical help and support to get over any other condition that might manifest itself. And yeah, okay, so we will stop that now. I can literally talk about this for hours and hours and hours, because it's something I'm quite passionate about. So I really do need to stop. Right. Yes, if it's, well, from what Douglas Campbell was saying earlier, MacOD, the caffeine is actually, it affects your, affects the calcium intake, which in turn will affect your bone development. So yeah, really, lay off the energy drinks until you're at least 20 years old, because it could affect your bone development, which will lead to brittle bones later in life. And trust me, that is not a good thing. I know someone who's got quite brittle bones, and they've had something like 17 breaks. It's not fun. It's not fun at all. But thank you very much to everybody that has tuned in and watched. We have been going for 2 hours and 5 minutes now, which is absolutely insane. Frithgar, if you're interested in getting one of your hoodies, I understand you can't get them shipped to the UK. I'll make an offer to send you one if you're interested in me. Message me if you are. Thank you very much. That is very generous. I'm actually hoping to, next year, be able to change who is... Hang on a minute. Goodness me, I'm getting a bit croaky now. I'm actually planning to change my supplier next year. You know, I've just been sat watching this tractor for the best part of half an hour now. So that I'll be able to, like, get samples of everything. So at the moment, all we've got is hoodies available to the US and T-shirts available to the UK. We did try to get T-shirts available on Amazon.de as well, but they rejected them for some reason. They didn't say why, they just flat out rejected them and said, no, it's not happening. So, I'm not quite sure what was wrong with those, but they didn't like them. So, a very, very Merry Christmas to everybody that has tuned in. It was absolutely fantastic to see you all here. I have thoroughly enjoyed it this evening, and I really hope that you all have a lot of fun. It'd be funny if he kept streaming until he fell asleep. You know, one day that may actually happen. I hope it doesn't. I really do. You don't want me snoring into the microphone. Apparently I snore a lot. That's what Sen says. Sorry I missed the beginning. Overall, great vid as always. Thank you very much. Yep, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to you as well. I'm hoping to do some more in about 3 weeks' time. Well, I'm hoping in 3 weeks' time I'll do another one. So I'll put up a poll about the game that I do on the Friday evening, and then I'll do some more Farming Simulator on the Saturday evening. But I really do need to go now. Yeah, that's it. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching and listening. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.